All right, both players are ready. I am ready. You all are ready. And it's the semifinals. Giovanni and Nenu. Let's just get him started, then we'll talk about him. In 3, 2, 1, Tetris. It is Classic Tetris Monthly DAS Masters July 2024, our inaugural monthly DAS Championship Caliber Tournament. Our first matchup here, Giovanni and Nenu. Giovanni fresh off his, there's Nenu with a fresh spin tuck of the T. But Giovanni fresh off his second place finish in the Classic Tetris World Championship. That's the CTWC. The CTWC DAS, is it championship? Is that, I don't know what I think it's just called CTWC DAS. I don't know if it's called their DAS championship or whatever, but it was huge. I'll tell you that. I watched a bunch of it, and there's just like so many people in that tournament, a double elimination and like 90 something play. I mean, it was massive. And Giovanni coming in second. I got to admit, I was kind of like, well, is Giovanni, kind of a flash in the pan, finished high in CTWC, in CTM DAS Masters qualifying, made it to the semis. I don't know. Is that a fluke? No, Gio. I didn't know a lot about Gio. I just knew Gio as somebody from like community tournament a million years ago. All of a sudden he comes back and he's just tearing through every DAS competition. So Gio doing an amazing job, trying to maybe get a victory here. Sort of a little bit of redemption here after the CTWC DAS where he did amazing. 122 here for Gio. Going to get a Tetris over. And also a very high qualifier in the next month's tournament, August, basically. So has a high qualifier. So not a flash in the pan. Truly, I mean, from what I've seen, passes the eye test as one of the best DAS players in the game today. So trying to cement that legacy here with a victory in our first ever DAS Masters. And Nenu, as a top 8 finisher in CTWC at legendary moments in the CTWC online years. Of course, running to a friend's house to go play because there was an issue with their console or power or something like that. Or internet. And of course, a multi-time CTM Masters event winner. Did one in 2019 and in 2021. Has the record for the most time passing between Masters victories. 281 here for Nenu, 228 for Giovanni. Nenu, when he's tapping, normally you will see, a lot of adjustments being made. Has not made really the switch to rolling. We'll try to bust out grip switch to rolling in an emergency, but does not seem to have put significant time into rolling. But when DAS Masters showed up, all of a sudden Nenu returned. And another spin tuck with the T. And you can see a lot of the kind of adjustments that you're used to from Nenu from back in the day in DAS as well. So huge brain here in DAS. 353 for Nenu. Giovanni gets a Tetris, 323. Nenu stacking is just something like you just want to watch it all day. I mean, just very creative adjustments. Really one of the kind of OG original crazy adjustment stackers, at least in the CTM cinematic universe. 422 here for Nenu, 371 for Giovanni. This is a best of 5, so you do see the score of 0 next to each of their names. The first player to 3 is the winner of the match, and this is the semifinals, so that player will move on to the finals. 417 here for Giovanni, 470 for Nenu. Another Tetris here. So, I mean, pretty legit paces here for DAS, especially Nenu, 493 through 102 lines. This is when I start to get 493 through 2 lines, but I'm playing, you know, this is when I start to get nervous, like, and mess it all up. But these players, whatever, they expect it. And no, I am not sick. I just have a new microphone. So if you're hearing, if you hear a difference, I am not sick. I just got a new mic. And I like this one way better. $585 for Nenu, $554 for Giovanni. Anything else I need to preempt? No. Balbar likes the stream layout. 609 for Nenu, 578 for Giovanni. So Giovanni back by about a Tetris. He's going to be the first one into 19 at 602. And Nenu already with the 632, setting up long bar column 9. And a long bar over for Nenu and a 656 transition. So 600K transitions here in Das Masters. There's another Tetris for Giovanni. So these paces are kind of off the chain. Nenu is a tapper, and so that kind of explains maybe why we haven't seen Nenu too much in CTM lately. Oh, nice cleanup here for Giovanni. And he gets a Tetris off of that. 666 for Giovanni, 710 for Nenu. Yes, all the players are playing the Das play style, which, you know, will involve occasional emergency taps and quick taps and things like that. But the predominant method of moving the pieces back and forth is the press and hold mechanic that it seems that developers intended. Nenu really still holding on to this 40,000 point lead pretty much the whole game so far. Now, of course, we did start off with level 18. The speed increased at level 19 at 130 lines, and the speed will increase one more time at level 29, and it is virtually unsurvivable for a Das player. Level 30s, rare. 31s, rarer still. There's a Tetris for Nenu, 868. Basically, a very, very good score at level 29 would be 1,000,000 plus points. The so-called max out. There's a Tetris for Gio, 921. He's finally in the lead, but he's also now 11 lines ahead. Nenu with a long bar dependency in the middle of the stack, and he's kind of all in on a bar going to the right, and he gets it over to the right, and another one to clean up. So Nenu with the survival here. Gio set up in column 8 for a Tetris and gets it 965. Nenu with his first real slowdown of the entire game here in game 1. And Giovanni really not slowing down at all. Interesting placement there with that L, kind of bifurcates that left side. Not sure if intentional, but it seems to be able to clean it up. Nenu with a Tetris, 968. Giovanni has the max out. He's now into level 28 at A14. So just 8 lines to go until the level 29 Das kill screen. There is a Tetris for Giovanni, A50. Nenu has the max out, 10 lines to go. There's another Tetris for Giovanni. He's got an A86. That is probably where his... See if he can eke out any lines. No. And Nenu needs to get A88. And he has 2 Tetrises available. And if he can get them both, he would still need more. So he's going to have to set up for this. No, actually, this would do it. So if he gets it, yes, Nenu is going to get the 1.1 and get a Tetris into 29. And Nenu will take game number 1, a 1.1 for Nenu, and nearly a 1.1 for Giovanni. What a game number 1 here in our semifinals between Nenu and Giovanni. A 1.1 from Nenu and nearly a 1.1 from Giovanni. That's crazy. That's just game 1. Both players are ready. Game number 2 between Giovanni and Nenu. In 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Am I allowed to burst the first piece of the game for 0 reason? We'd prefer that you did not do that. So we don't want to open up. Just be normal, okay? Now we do allow players to mullen should it be relevant, but we ask that any mullins you do be Das mullins, so that we can sort of maintain the integrity of the scoring records. Yes, we do follow what is what I guess we're calling the spirit of Das, which is, you know, you should be actually playing Das. There have been other competitions that are Das competitions in the past, which sort of, you know, Das mimicking tournaments, which are fine, but not what we're doing here, where they allow players to sort of slow tap the entire time, as long as they stay under a certain taps per second. But no, we are actually requiring that players play the Das play style, which means relying on the press and hold mechanic that the developers intended, in which the original sort of Tetris scene in its early days was based on. That doesn't mean that players will be pressing and holding every single piece. Sometimes in an emergency, or if it's just a 1 or a 2 tap to get a piece in its place, then, you know, nobody, I mean, everyone, even the most Das of all Das players will tap a piece here and there. 171 for Nenu, 188 for Giovanni. Tetris for Nenu, 218. And why do we use those rules? Well, because that's the rules that I like, and it's my tournament. So people can do whatever they want in their tournaments, but this is how we choose to do ours. And it's totally fine however you want to do yours. There's a Tetris for Nenu, 244, 280 for Gio as he tries to clean this up. He'll get a long bar in the middle there, clean up the stack, and now, yeah, that T-piece will be nice. Uncovers the well. And, yeah, just trying to get something in there. It's starting to spire a little bit. Oh, gets that S-spin and a Tetris. $294 for Nenu, $330 for Giovanni. Now, the winner of this match will play the winner of the match that comes after it, which is between Fractal and Pixel Andy, two fixtures of the competitive Tetris scene. Oh, Nenu's right side is a problem. So he's going to throw a long bar down there, bring it in, and he's just got to bring this down. He's going to lose a little more pace to Gio. And yeah, Nenu just bringing this down, not going to mess around. He's already behind. So I think he's just trying to get a good safe stack here. But this is a pretty low score through 94 lines. I mean, you'd like to have, you know, 300 something K by about 70 lines would be, you know, tolerable. So this is a little bit on the low side pace wise. Gio, pretty healthy pace here, 452 through 101. Long bar over Tetris. Nenu 363, 475. Giovanni setting up kind of on the left well here. We'll see what he decides to do. No, he's going to go with it. And he is set up on the left well. Of course, harder to get long bars over to the left. Well, to the left when there's a well over there. You don't have as much clearance. You have to be stacked a little bit lower than on the right side. because the piece has to traverse more columns, right? Wow, look at that. Tetris. 435 for Nenu, 528 for Giovanni. We're just about 10 lines away from the level 19 transition, where the speed will increase by 50%. Giovanni gets a nifty transfer of the well there without burning too many lines. And another Tetris here for Gio, 600 now on 19. Nenu about to transition into 19. Gets a long bar in for a Tetris, 506. So Gio, anywhere between 4 and 8 lines ahead and 80 to 100,000 points ahead. Tetris for Nenu on that right side, 557. You can see adjustments being made for Nenu. You can learn a lot by watching someone like Nenu play. I mean, I can learn a lot, but I can't actually do anything that he's doing. But I've learned just how bad I am at Tetris. 563 for Nenu, 685 for Gio. There's a Tetris Gio, 711. He's now got about 150,000 point lead, roughly. Oh, Gio with that T-piece. That could be a problem. He's going to quick tap that piece over to the right, and he's in trouble. And he is going to top out at 717. So there is a chase down here for Nenu, who gets a Tetris. 718 is the target. And it looks like he double flipped or something. So 718 is the target. Nenu with plenty of time to chase this down. Yeah, that was kind of brutal, and that's the problem with Das, or let's say not the problem, but the challenge is it's so hard to recover from mistakes, especially up high, because you just don't have the maneuverability that you do when you're playing a tapping-oriented style like rolling or hyper-tapping. So the chase down here is for Nenu, 718. It's very, very unforgiving play style, which maybe is why people don't want to play it. They go, oh, as soon as I don't have to play Das anymore, I will stop. All right, so 718 still the target here for Nenu. He's got 25 lines to get it. He can single and double this away. And he's actually setting up for a Tetris. Long bar over for a Tetris, 691. So less than a Tetris to go. One Tetris would do it. Does not have to get one, though. He is set up. Long bar over Tetris for Nenu, and he is good in game number 2. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. That is the punishing, unforgiving nature of this play style. You just don't have a lot of room for error, especially up top. So it becomes a priority to play lower if you can. That's the other problem. It's like you have an opponent you're playing against who it might not make sense to play lower and safer because they're putting the pressure on you. So it's extremely tough. All right, Gio has Tetris open down the right side, gets it. Has some gaps here. And is in the process of burning them away. A long bar here would be very helpful for Gio. But it's not coming. Oh, here it is. Oh, and he's going to miss with the long bar here. So Gio needs to sort of get it together here. Don't let this kind of stuff get into his head and just try to execute. There's a Tetris Gio, 80,000. He is a high seed in our April tournament where qualifying is already concluded. 105 for Nenu, 80,000 for Geo. Did I say April? August, sorry. All right, calm down, calm down. Literally everybody knew what I meant, you know. There's a thing on the internet where, you know, if someone is speaking extemporaneously and then someone makes an error, they don't just go, "Oh yeah, I know what he means." No, they got to go, "Oh, what? What did you really mean April?" You know? That's the internet. There's a Tetris Nenu, 179, 177 Geo. So Geo trying to come back from some early mishaps here and has pretty much tied it. Yes, please, everyone clip the mistake, spread it around. Can you believe he needs to step down, make way for the younger generation? He's clearly lost it. $247 Geo, $228 Nenu. Come on, Jack. I'm fine. I'm fine, Jack. All right, 275 for Nenu, 293 for Giovanni. Real Bland says Vandy cannot be the nominee. Oh, no. Well, I assure you, no matter what, I will be the nominee, okay? I will not step down. The future of Tetris depends on my being the nominee. Would I be willing to take a cognitive test? I take cognitive tests all the time, Skip Logic. This job is a continual cognitive test, okay? 309 from Nenu, 387 from Geo. And I'm a way better golfer than the other nominee, okay? All right, Geo, oh, not taking a burn there, trying to avoid the burns. Gets a bar, okay, 411 for Geo, and he's kind of roared back into the lead. Wait, is normal CTM still going to happen? It already happened, Jack. We're on to August. This is the last thing to do to clean up July. 384 from Nenu, 481 from Geo. He's all of a sudden about 75,000 points ahead. Do you think you could beat other Tetris commentators in a poker match? I mean, there's a lot of short run variants in poker, so anybody can win against anybody on any day. But in the long run, I would do okay. All right, we are approaching the level 19 transition, so players starting to think about having good stacks going into the speed increase. All right, Geo bringing his stack down a little bit, taking some burns. And the game just decided, okay, finally giving bars here. And Geo, 568 here through 136, 487 for Nenu. So Geo, you know, at the same line count, roughly 50,000 point lead. There's a Tetris Nenu, 538, both players into level 20. People think we should have a CTM poker event. Well, we've got a mixed community here of like adults and children, so I don't know if I necessarily want to be promoting that, although it can just be for adults, I suppose. 592 for Nenu, 651 for Geo. Maybe we should do something like that. Geo just barely gets that long bar over to the right, and he's trying to bring this down. He was getting up high on the stack again. And I have to realize that in a DAS event, level 19 is not Vandy podcast time. It is like any moment the game could end. You get spoiled by, rolling now. Feel like, 19 is just, they'll be fine. Doesn't really start until 29 nowadays. And I completely missed a game-saving quick tap. I did see it, but $721 for Nenu, $757 for Geo. It is super close. There's a Tetris for Nenu, separated by 10,000 points. So it's really anybody's game. Geo needs to win to stay in. Nenu, Tetris, 785. Long bar over, Tetris, Geo, 801. All right, Geo taking a couple of skims here. Tetris for him, 835. Nenu gets one, 851. Same line count. Nenu ahead by about 17,000 points. About a half a Tetris. Tetris over for Nenu. Geo filling in some tucks here. Getting kind of high here above the next box where it would be. Tetris for Geo, 882. And here's a Tetris for Nenu, 952. And Geo needs to do something here. Okay. He's probably going to have to go for 3. There's a Tetris for Nenu, and Nenu's ahead by 100,000 points. So Geo just needs to go for it. There's 1. He's going to probably have to set up for 2. There's another. And it's just not going to be possible. He's going to see what he can do, and he cannot manage to set up for 2. And Nenu is good in game number 3. God, you forget how punishing DAS is. My goodness gracious. GG's to you, Geo. I mean, 2 great runs in back-to-back tournaments. Getting to these semis, you will go home with a small prize. And yeah, I can't wait to see what you do in August. So GG's to you, Geo. Nenu, you will be moving on, so don't go anywhere. You have to stay up. And we'll be back in a moment with our Andy versus Fractal match. Hey everybody, this is your old pal, Vandweller, host of Classic Tetris Monthly, and I'm asking you to do me a favor. If you like this video, hit thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like it, please subscribe and bang that notification bell. Join our Discord server, the largest classic Tetris community online at ctm.gg/discord, and follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/monthlytetris. Thank you, and have a nice day.